I'm Margie Lariviere. I am a partner at the law firm of Gordon and Reese in San Francisco. I'm also an adjunct professor at UC Hastings where I teach insurance law, and I'm a committee member of the State Bar Committee on Group Insurance Programs, COGIP, who supports this presentation. And what's this presentation about? It's the basics of risk management through the purchase of insurance. Insurance, as probably you all know, transfers risk. That's the basic assumption behind it. We pay a premium today because we want to transfer the risk to someone else in the event that something befalls us in the future. And one of the caveats I want to say before we start talking about different types of insurance is inertia. We purchase insurance, we often let inertia set in, we don't assess our needs on an ongoing basis, and I encourage all of you to do that at least annually. I have run into situations where someone has an ex-spouse named as a beneficiary on an insurance policy, and life insurance policy, and you certainly don't want that to happen. So let's talk about insurance for yourself and insurance for your practice. What are some of the insurance policies to purchase for yourself or to consider purchasing? Life, accidental death and dismemberment, disability, auto, home, long-term care insurance, health insurance, and umbrella insurance. We're going to talk a bit about each of these. How about for your practice? Professional liability, workers' compensation, and business owner's package. First of all, let's start with life insurance. Are you the primary breadwinner? If you are the primary breadwinner in your family, then you probably should have life insurance, especially if you have children, a mortgage, and other things. If something happens to you, you die unexpectedly, and you have these obligations in place, life insurance is designed to protect your family in that eventuality. And when you're just starting out, there are a couple different types of life insurance that are available, but term insurance is the cheapest. You can buy term insurance that covers you for a period of time. Generally, the term is annually, but you can, say, purchase a 10-year term policy that guarantees the premium for each year of coverage. So that's something that you want to think about. The amount of insurance, that's a little tricky. You really need to think about what your obligations are and then assess that on an ongoing basis. We typically see $200,000 to $500,000 in insurance coverages. The more you have, the more you're responsible for, the higher your coverage should be. Okay, let's talk a little bit about accidental death and dismemberment. This is a type of life insurance, but it pays in the event that you die from accident. A lot of us attorneys are on the road quite a bit. Accidental death is one of the highest causes of death in the country and in the state of California. This is a very good, it's a low premium and very good benefit in the event that, again, you die from accident. And it also covers for dismemberment. Hopefully no one will suffer this, but if you lose a hand, a foot, both hands, loss of sight, it pays you for those kinds of dismemberments. Disability insurance. What does disability insurance do? Well, I have a personal story here because my practice is in disability and life field, but also my boss, my mentor, who I worked with for over 15 years, had a stroke in his 50s. And thank goodness he had disability insurance in place. He had 2 kids, he was paying a mortgage, he was putting his son through college at the time, and disability helps replace the income that you lose because of an injury or sickness. It pays a portion of that pre-disability earnings. One thing you want to consider and probably talk to a tax accountant about is look at whether the benefits would be taxable or not. There are different circumstances where that issue comes into place, so talk to a tax advisor about that. But it's definitely a type of policy that, as an attorney who is a primary breadwinner for the family, you want to consider. All right, how about home and auto? Pretty fundamental here. Homeowner protects you, your property against loss. If you have a fire, negligent construction, that kind of thing, some damage to your home, the home insurance product covers for that loss. It also contains a liability component. So if someone comes onto the property, walking up the stairs, let's say they slip on your stairs because the handrail is a little loose, this type of policy protects you against that bodily injury on your home. Something that a lot of people don't know about, homeowner coverage, the liability protection, actually affords you coverage outside the home too. So if something happens and you're worried about coverage that may be in place, check your homeowner policy. It might surprisingly provide you coverage in that eventuality. Auto is required, liability at least insurance, if you drive in the state of California. You also should determine if you want property coverage, damage to your car. So you have two components to auto: damage to your car and liability for bodily injury that you cause to others. There's also, for many policies, a medical benefit component. So it does pay you some, usually a couple thousands of dollars, if you're injured because of somebody's negligence. One other thing to keep in mind in the auto context is your underinsured and uninsured coverage. Very important because California really has fairly low liability limits. So let's say someone has $25,000 in liability coverage, they injure you. You should have uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage that protects you up to a greater amount. If their $25,000 is used, then your underinsured motorist kicks in to essentially pay for the damages in excess of that. So very important coverage there. Okay, long-term care. Long-term care insurance is really an up-and-comer. It's very popular right now. People are living longer, they want to stay at home, and they need nursing care. So long-term care insurance provide coverages for just that: home care, assisted living, skilled nursing, and it's something that I know a lot of colleagues are talking with me about because they're considering it. Health insurance, everyone knows what that is. Covers for medical expenses. There have been a lot of changes under the Affordable Care Act, and the State Bar has resources to help you navigate through that, so do check the State Bar website if you have questions on that. Umbrella insurance. Think of this as an umbrella. You had your layer of protection, your liability layer, let's say it's up to $100,000. But let's say you have damages that are in excess of that. An umbrella kicks in to cover you above your primary limits. It's usually very low premium for the kind of benefit that you get. So it's something that, again, you definitely want to consider. All right, let's talk about insurance for your practice group. Obviously, professional liability. Professional liability covers you in the event of professional negligence. If you don't have it, you have to disclose it to a client. That's under Professional Rule of Conduct 3-410. So, important part of coverage. Workers' compensation. Workers' compensation is mandated in the state of California if you have employees. All policies are essentially identical, and it provides for income replacement, medical coverage, and rehab if a worker is injured on the job. Business office package insurance is a grouping of insurance. It's designed to protect against damage to your law firm. So let's say a sprinkler goes off and damages your equipment, warps a floor. This affords you property damage coverage. It also provides liability for non-professional liability that occurs on the premises. A client comes in, slips on a carpet. This is the type of policy that will help to cover that. So that is your personal and practice insurance in a nutshell. A few closing comments. If you have a claim, keep all of your documents. Call your broker, gather any information you need. And if you have a question, please look at the website, the State Bar website. You can look at the COGIP, the Copley, the professional liability, and also check the Department of Insurance website. Thank you, and buy insurance.